Hey, how's it going, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be talking about things you should know before joining the infantry, Marine infantry. But I guess some of these could apply to any type of infantry, uh, like Army infantry or another country. So, infantry. Um, a little bit about me: I was in the Marines for 4 years. I was stationed in Hawaii, and from Hawaii, was deployed to Okinawa, Japan. And from Japan, I went to Australia and South Korea for training, but I never saw combat. When I was in, the wars were pretty much over. Um, so here's a list of things I've got here to go over. I'm just going to be talking about just insights and just tips from my experience of spending 4 years in the Marines. Um, so the first thing I have here is mental resilience. Um, the Marine infantry is going to challenge your mind more than your body. Like you're not really gonna know what you're getting into until you're there, living it in and day out. It's a stressful job. Um, it's not like doing combat sports like boxing or wrestling. It's like, all right, you train for a few hours and you go back home. Like when you join the infantry, it's ever in the military in general, it's like a complete lifestyle. Your entire life revolves around training, going out for a week, training in the field, going back to garrison, doing classes, and going out for another week. The emphasis is on maintaining composure under stress, especially during like repeated drills and harsh conditions when you're doing ranges or going out on combat patrols. You're gonna have to develop coping strategies early to thrive mentally and just keep everything organized so you don't lose your mind from all this stress because you're going to be dealing with just a lot of you're gonna be getting yelled at. You're gonna be getting, I mean, in the Marine infantry, honestly, it's a top down hierarchy. So people sometimes are disrespectful and treat you like shit because that's just the culture of the Marine Corps. And you're just gonna be dealing with like these high stressful situations when you're out doing ranges and shooting and throwing grenades and all these things. Um, so just keep in mind you have to, if you're mentally weak and you can't handle stress and anxiety and lack of sleep and disorganization and all these things, that is probably, this job probably is not, if you're trying to develop the skill, I mean, it will give you exposure, and it's like, I guess, good life experience. If you want more mental resilience, it gives you a baseline level of grit. But if you're like super, if you have strong anxiety, probably I wouldn't recommend this job. um So that's a very important thing is to keep in mind. It's 4 years, and it's going to be a stressful 4 years. Like once you're on the train, you're on the train. Unless you like smoke weed or something and get kicked out, like you're going to be doing a high stressful job where you have to train and stay focused. You're going to be going to the field for a month, come back, and then you're working like doing your classes in garrison, and then going back to the field, and then you have to be you're doing things while you're in garrison that is stressful. So mental resilience is the first thing I have on the list. And then the next thing is health management. Injuries are common and frequently underreported due to peer pressure and stigma. Now, I would highly recommend, even though it's very frowned upon, to get everything documented often and clearly so that when you do get out, because 90% of people do get out after the first contract, for future medical claims, because it's stigmatized, but once you're out on your own, no one's going to care. So you're going to have to put yourself first and just make sure, even if it's even due to peer pressure, to get everything um, documented, because the infantry is a very physically demanding job, and once you're checking out and you're on your own, I mean you're on your own, and then like that's it. So don't downplay health issues for pride or peer acceptance. Like, just get it documented and move on with your life, and so that if you have any problems, once if you start having problems with your knees or back, you're not like 30 or 40 years old with you can't really you can't get money for it when you could be getting benefits for it from your time in service. Now, um, the next thing I have here, transferable skills. In the infantry, you're not going to learn any technical skills that translate to a civilian job. So just keep that in mind. Like 4 years, like that's like 4 years is a long time to be doing a job and then getting out and you have no skills to show for it. The infantry, the specific skills you learn, like weapons handling and tactics, don't easily translate into civilian jobs. So that if you do infantry, the only job you're going to be able to get is be a cop, maybe a security contractor or a security guard, but like that's it. No, you're not going to be getting some six figure job because the skills you learn are like leadership and like shooting guns and shit. Like that's not very transferable to the civilian life. So I would highly recommend the if you to pursue education while you're in because you can start getting military tuition assistance program to learn a technical skill, go to college and learn certifications or a trade while you're still in. So I would highly recommend learning a trade, like spending 2 hours in the morning before PT or after PT when you're just chilling in the barracks, because you're gonna have a lot of free time when you're not training, if you're not doing classes or something to study or do something productive. Because 4 years, I mean, you're gonna be due 4 years is gonna fly by, and then you're out and you have what like no skills. You're gonna be starting from the bottom again. So I would highly recommend pursuing education, learning a skill, studying a few hours in the morning or afternoon while you're still serving, um, just so you can get ahead in life. And you start using the military tuition assistance program 2 years in. So 2 years in, start maybe taking one or two classes so you can more easily transfer to the next stage of your life after the military. Um, Now the next thing is financial literacy. Um, a lot of Marines that when I was in infantry would face financial difficulties. Even though you're not paying for rent, you're not paying for food, you're not paying for anything except maybe your phone bill, the internet, and car insurance if you buy a car. Due to just bad spending habits, like you get paid every 2 weeks, and then you just blow it all on like stupid shit. Just that's literally what happens a lot. Like it happens a lot, like way. It's super common. Um, Due to lack of knowledge or just bad habits. So I would highly recommend prioritizing learning personal finance early, just basic, just go on ChatGPT and look up basic budgeting, saving, and investing. Because what you get paid every 2 weeks $1,000 or something like that, and avoid common pitfalls like spending uh, credit on a car with high loans and high interest rates. I mean, that's you're gonna if you do infantry, you're gonna be someone that's done that. Um, so that's because you're when you join in, they gave you a credit card with like $5,000, and people just blow it all on stupid shit, and then you have to pay it off because credit card companies know that you get paid every 2 weeks. So I mean, that's easy money for them. So financial literacy, just learn basic budgeting, saving, because you could easily save all of your money or most of it, probably like 95%, simply just living, not buying a stupid high interest car, and then not blowing your money on food and just stupid shit because you're not paying rent or you're not paying anything. You could just not spend your money. So that's a super easy way to save money for 4 years. Um, Relationships. If you have a girlfriend that's long distance or you have a girlfriend before joining, there's like a 95% chance it's just not gonna work out. Like, I'm sorry. It's just super unpredictable deployments and training schedules. Like you're training like all day and then you come back and then you're back in garrison and then like from 9 to 5 for like 5 days a week and then sometimes you're gone for a month or 2 months or you're gone for half a year. It's very unpredictable and the job itself is just stressful. So relationships are it's pretty hard to maintain just a normal relationship, especially if it's long distance or even if you have a girlfriend that lives near you. It's just very unpredictable. I would be proactive with speaking to them and making sure they know what's up, but this the relationships are going to be strained. and understand that the military is always going to put itself first. So if you have, maybe since we're not in war, that if you have a kid or a family death, they won't you be able to go back home. But in general, if you have stuff happening back home, the military isn't going to care. The next thing, career flexibility. In the infantry, the promotions are very slow, especially like it's marine. The infantry is slow, and then you have the Marine Corps, which is also slow. It's like double slow compared to like a technical MOS field, like something in computers or I don't know a trade that's a trade MOS. So keep that in mind if like you're trying to make money. I mean, the Marine Corps, unless you want to be in the Marine Corps and you want to do that job, if you could easily just do a job in the army doing the same thing and get promoted much quicker. Like in the Marine Corps, I think you have to re-enlist to be a sergeant now. Like you could spend 4 years in the Marines and not make sergeant, but if you join the army, you could easily make E5 pretty quickly. So career advancement often requires you're gonna have to like go to schooling or make a lateral move. So schooling and lateral moves and to be a good Marine to get promoted. So keep in mind that um, it's slower advancement in the infantry if this is something you want to do long term compared to like civilians or another branch. The next thing here, veteran benefits. Many Marines leave the infantry with injuries that qualify them for VA benefits simply due they just don't know about like disability or they're hard headed and never go to medical to get anything documented. So like once you get out, like you're gonna be in, you're gonna like, all right, I'm never gonna go to doc for anything ever, because just that's just the culture of the Marine Corps. You don't want people to think like you're a bitch or something, but it's, I mean, it's fine like you're in, but once you get out and you're on your own and you're like old man, you have all these problems, like it's not good. So I would at least look up and understand the VA disability process early to maximize your entitlements if you get any injuries. I would also look up and just go on Chat GPT and just like look up lists of all the veteran benefits so you can use like the GI Bill, um, the housing loan, just like all the benefits in general, so you can use that to like maximize your life once you get out. Because when you're in, they don't really tell you all the benefits you get. You're gonna have to like look out for yourself and figure it out. Like I don't remember all the benefits off the top of my head, but like the main ones are like GI Bill, the housing loan. Like there's just a bunch. I don't remember off the top of my head. So take proactive steps to secure your documentation for any injuries you have while you're in, and then go online and look up all the benefits you get once you get out, or while you're still in, so you can like military tuition assistance. Like some people don't even know about that. You can be going to college while you're in, um, to set yourself up for when you get out. Okay, the next thing I have here on the list, team dynamics. The infantry relies on tight knit teamwork and trust. You're gonna be around these people 24 hours when you're a day, 7 days a week when you're out training for a month straight, and then when you come back, you're there all day at work, and then you're hanging out with them on the weekends. And so it's everybody forms super tight bonds. I can't even. Maybe it reminds me of maybe like if you're on a football team and everybody's super close, but in the military it's even much closer. So you're gonna be forming very strong interpersonal relationships that affect your success or failure. So if your personality is very grating and like it's not good with people, I mean, just people will team up against you and make your life much harder than it needs to be if your personality is that repulsive to people. Being an individual often hurts group cohesion, so being a team player it will be crucial to making your life much easier to deal with when you're doing the job. The next thing I have here, morale and motivation. Um, Morale is going to be can heavily be dependent upon your leadership quality. So you have shit leaders, which is honestly pretty common. Not gonna lie, because I mean the Marine Corps culture is such like the culture is very top heavy, so it's top down. So if you have a shit officer who hates everyone, that's gonna affect everyone below him. So keep that in mind. Like If you can have good leaders and you have bad leaders. Um, Effective leaders can improve morale and foster trust and motivate the unit, and bad leaders can do the exact opposite. So they can poor leaders will negatively affect your mental health and motivation. Just try to stay mentally strong. Just like you're either gonna have a good leader and then you can look up to them, or you can have a bad leader and then you can know what not to do, and then you can do that for the newer guys for yourself. Um, Expectation versus reality. Um, in training, most time is spent doing repetitive and boring tasks and maintenance tasks, and you're gonna be waiting around, being bored. Just like in real life and real combat, it's most of the time it's just you're just bored doing repetitive tasks all day. Like just you're gonna be going in, just know you're gonna be sitting around, being bored, doing repetitive tasks over and over again. And then during those boredom tasks, you're gonna have short, intense activity when you're shooting and running and screaming, and so that's usually about the reality of training when you're out doing your combat training, rangers and stuff. You're gonna be bored all day, 95% of the time. Then you do a super intense training exercise, and you're back to being bored. So that's expectation versus reality. Now the infantry culture, I've already said a little bit about it, but strong hierarchy. It's top down. Junior Marines often face harsh discipline, hazing, and rite of passages practices. I mean, the hazing, it was never that serious. It was mostly just being treated like shit and being disrespected. That's usually, and then doing like being told what to do. I'm sorry, that kind of alarm went off. Took me off. Being told what to do. Um, like extra exercises, or you don't know your nine line, or we're gonna get scream at you, and everybody's gonna do burpees. Oh, you fell asleep during when you're supposed to be doing something, or you're gonna be getting yelled at and doing extra exercises. Like it's just stupid shit, or making you do stupid shit, like running around the barracks and being yelled at. That type of stuff. But I mean, obviously, there are pieces of shit people that will try to make make it make your life much harder than it needs to be for no reason. So, I mean, if someone tries to bully you, just you can just train boxing, and if someone tries to bully you, you can just fight them. I mean, just say obviously just you have boundaries at some point, but for the most part, the hazing and stupid games you have to play as a junior marine is usually just that's it, just stupid games, and you move on. Um, Respect, you eventually get you treated like shit when you first come into like the unit, and then slowly respect is earned through competence and resilience, and going through like when you're going through this month-long training exercises and you go in deployment, you're slowly getting more respect as time goes on. Um, so that's for the infantry culture, and then for physical conditioning, um, cardio is absolutely crucial. So do not go in with bad cardio. You will get singled out. If you're a weak body, they're gonna make your life so much harder. Um, Try since general infantry isn't really spec ops or anything. I would recommend working up to 20 miles a week. I mean, most people are drinking and smoking, and which I would highly recommend against. But cardio, your entire job is going to be cardio focused. So expect hikes, marches, runs, and just general physical continuous activity. You're gonna be running like you wake up 6 a.m. and then you do your PT physical exercise. So don't be going in the infantry especially and having a shit bad cardio. Like you're gonna make your life living. They're gonna make your life so much worse than it needs to be. And if you're just good at running, like your job it makes the job so much easier. So prepare before boot camp and get your stamina and endurance up. It will probably if you can get up your cardio up, it's gonna make your job so much easier, much more easier. It's your cardio is way more important than raw strength and being like a bodybuilder or something. Um, okay, the next thing have your sleep deprivation. During training out in the field, you're gonna be sleep deprived pretty normally. And another thing to keep in mind is you're gonna have to do fire watch, which is super annoying. Which is like you wake up for an hour and you keep security while everybody else sleeps. So you could have say you go to rest at like 10 p.m. You might have to wake up randomly. Someone might wake you up with a red flashlight in your eyes and say, "Hey, you gotta do security for an hour," and now you have to wake up for an hour at like freaking 2 a.m. and then go back to sleep. Like that messes up your entire sleep schedule. So just keep it like just know before you go in, you're gonna be deprived a lot for training exercises. Like when you're out doing combat patrols or recon patrols or just when you're out in general doing training, you're gonna be sleeping out in the rain, in the cold, and all that stuff. Like, well, you're gonna basically be camping. Just know if you're doing infantry, you're gonna be your life is gonna be outside in the woods or just outside in general, walking around all day. So, so try to learn or effective quick rest and napping efficiently and managing your fatigue and making sure you're eating and drinking water just to keep your energy up. Because if you don't, uh, if you're not eating while you're out training, you're gonna heat case or just something bad's gonna happen to you. So effective rest management will help your performance a lot. Now, the thing is, identity and purpose. Leaving the Marine Corps can create uh, a great sense of loss. Even though most people do get out after 4 years, the infantry is such a life encompassing thing. It's your entire life that once you get out, it's kind of like, oh, you lose yourself for a little bit. So make sure you're planning what you want to do for the next part of your life, so you can more by like learning a skill and networking, so you can more easily transfer to the next you know part of your life more easily and not be depressed about losing your friends and all that stuff just to get out of the military. So prepare mentally for civilian life and moving on. There's different expectations completely. Um, Now, field conditions, you're going to be expected to be prolonged in exposure in uncomfortable environments like freaking 90 degrees and you're wearing dirty clothes. It's going to be very uncomfortable until you get used to it. Your field hygiene, you're not going to be showering. You're not going to be showering or wearing clean clothes for weeks, or not weeks, but like days and weeks. Um, so just mentally be prepared that like this job is like you're gonna be out in the woods. You're gonna be living out in the woods camping, and just you're gonna be outside. Like your job is gonna be outside. So if you're like a city person or you spent your entire childhood playing video games, like it's gonna be a completely different lifestyle. Like the first night you go on SOY and they tell you to like, all right, go to sleep. You're gonna be outside in the cold, in the rain. You have to set your sleeping situation up and like go to sleep right outside just like that. So just mentally prepare yourself for that. Gear and equipment in the Marines. Uh, and the Marine Corps gets less funding than the Army and other branches, so just expect like the equipment in general in the Marine Corps is much older compared to like a specialized unit or other branches. Just the equipment's going to be there's sometimes going to be shortages, but I mean this is like for higher leadership, not necessarily for you. So just be prepared to maintain all of your gear that you're given. Um, because the Marine Corps isn't getting new stuff, I guess. And then the last thing is your personal space. Um, yeah, you're gonna be living in the barracks with either one other person. Not like 95% chance you're gonna be living with at least one other person. When I first got to my unit, it was me and two other people in like a small room that was hot and gross. So you're gonna have minimal privacy, personal privacy, other than like the bathroom when you take a shower or whatever. I mean, but when you're like out training, you're gonna be showering together, stuff like that. So you're gonna be living in shared spaces, which can be pretty stressful over time, especially if you have a loud roommate. And so just expect like you're gonna be living with people like all day long, around people all day long. So to reduce your frustration, it's just like that's how your life is gonna be. It's not like I think in the army or the other branches you get your own room, but in the Marine Corps unless you're like sergeant or you get married, you're gonna be living with someone. So I think that's gonna be it. I think yeah, that's everything from the list. Trying to think if there's anything else. It's a lifestyle. It's a hard life. 4 years of stress. Like once you're on the train, you're on the train. Trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it, gonna be it for the video, guys. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.